called. A few years ago, I had the great honor of recording this song with the hero of mine, the legend that is Mavis Staples. And I wanted to write this song to remind myself of the small ways that people contribute to each other's lives around them, you know. Small little acts of love and solidarity which on the hard days seem to hold the world together. All of us in our own little ways, we maybe turn to people in our lives, our family and friends, we say, hey, I see what you're going through and I can see that and I'm here for you, you know. And in so many ways for our community, you know, in ways that are sometimes beneath notice, we recognize the experience of other human beings and we show up for them, you know. And I think that's a big part of living in a democracy, you know. And I also wrote this to remind myself of everything that we have to be thankful for with regards to protest, everything that protest has given us. And it's something that, depending on who you're talking to, they can roll their eyes at it and it can be much vilified. But there's so much that in our respective democracies that we enjoy every single day that people have to push for, protest for, and organize for, you know. I'm not just talking about the right to vote, I'm not just talking about every single citizen having the right to vote, which we take for granted, something that was not the case in living memory. I'm not just talking about women having the right to vote. I'm not even just talking about the simple things like having a weekend to look forward to, something that the labour movement had to push very, very hard for. But the fact that women have control over their reproductive systems and have full reproductive rights. Again, something that is so easy to take for granted, but it's so easy for it to be taken away, and it's something that my country only achieved in 2018. And no politician would offer a word to that issue until people started getting out on the streets and really, you know, started organising grassroots movements. We take for granted that members of the LGBTQ+ community should have the rights, same rights that we enjoy. They should feel welcome. That's something that took a lot of people also recognizing the experience of their neighbours, recognizing the experience of their kids, of their parents, of their siblings, and saying, your experience may be different from mine, but I would want you to feel as safe and secure in this society as I feel, you know. These things, I think, are so important, they're so simple. As I said, I recorded this with Mavis Staples, who used to sing before speeches during the American Civil Rights Movement here, you know. Why that was of some interest to me as an Irishman, I don't know if there's anybody here with Irish heritage or Irish lineage. But something that bears repeating is that civil rights movement that happened here in the 60s directly inspired a civil rights movement that happened very shortly afterwards in Northern Ireland. At a time and place where not every single citizen in Northern Ireland was guaranteed the right to vote, you know. We've been singing this song in solidarity with anybody who would engage that same empathy and that same compassion in bearing witness to the lived experiences of people on the other side of the world. We're reaching out to their representatives and saying we wouldn't want to see any human being subject to the kind of violence that we're seeing in Gaza over these last movements. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you're from in the world. It doesn't matter if you're an Israeli citizen or a Palestinian citizen. No human being should be subject to that kind of violence. That kind of indiscriminate violence. As I said, I come from Ireland, and the peace process that brought centuries of occupation and occupational violence to a close had huge involvement from the US administration at the time, huge involvement from US citizens at the time. So I'm speaking from that place, that if you feel moved to reach out to your representatives and ask them to support the ceasefire, meaningfully support a ceasefire, and a peaceful political solution, these things can really make a difference. And it can really make a difference to let politicians know which way the wind is blowing, you know what I mean? And speak from that place of compassion and seeing safety and security and peace for everybody in that region would of course see a Palestine free from occupation. It would mean seeing a Palestine free from occupational violence, perpetual occupation, you know? So I want to thank you for letting me speak out from the heart. I know I've talked a lot tonight, for God's sake. But thank you so much. And thank you for letting me witness the kind of goodwill and that kind of solidarity and that kind of goodness that I see in a night like tonight. People coming together in goodwill and love to enjoy music together. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.